I know you want to hear about this. The five biggest mistakes I've made flipping houses. There's a lot of them. I mean, there's probably way more than five. There's probably like 100, but I'm gonna give you five that have really been a problem for me. And then I'm gonna try to help you avoid that. My name is Jonathan Green. I run an off-market property acquisition company called Streamline Properties. I also have an on-market team called Streamline Properties On Market, brokered by eXp Realty. I've been investing for 30 years. I've flipped a lot of houses, but not in like the crazy volume that some people do, not hundreds a year or anything like that. I'm very careful, but I flipped enough and done live-in flips to know all of the things I've done wrong. And I'm going to try to save you today from my mistakes. Number one, bad partners. I just think that partners are a problem in deals when you're flipping. I mean, if you don't know them, forget about it. If you know them, forget about it. It's probably not going to be a great fit unless you know that you're all on the same page and your finances are exactly the same. So if you're going to take on a partner in the deal, I'm very comfortable if all of your input, which means money, is exactly the same. You each put the same in and it each gets taken out. Both parties need to agree. That's fine. That's about the safest way. You'll probably still argue and not be friends after, but hey, everybody likes to have partners. The reason why I say bad partners is because I made one of these deals where I was the money and they were the work. So they owned a contracting company and they were going to do the work and they were going to pay for the work. We're going to split the profits. I was going to put the down payment and maintain that property until then. They were going to do the work. We were going to split it 50-50. Come to find out, I had a company credit card that they were using for other things, turned into an almost lawsuit. In the end, I'm not going to sue anybody. We just sold the property at probably at a break-even number. And that was it. Washed our hands. It was uncomfortable. I thought I knew the people. I was wrong. I was just wrong. I don't like to partner on deals. I don't. I only have partnership deals with my sister. And I'm uncomfortable. I would do a partnership deal with my project manager and best friend, Jenny. But other than that, very, very hard to find me very interested in a partnership because I don't want to ruin the relationship because of a piece of property. I can maintain and figure it out myself. If you do need partners, that's actually the worst time to find one, because if you need something, if you need money or you need this, your partners are going to have leverage over you. So bad partners, number one, avoid them. Try to figure out how you can do it yourself. Number two, waiving inspection. That means like a full waive. Like you're just like, I'm not even going to do an inspection. I've definitely bought as is houses where I've said I'm still going to do an inspection and then I'll decide whether or not I want it. But in a hot market, that's not a great presentation. They want you to just waive everything because they're probably hiding stuff under the hood. So it does mean you need to know your numbers really well to waive the inspections. But in my opinion, if you're anything but like the most experienced and have a lot of money, don't waive inspection, do an inspection and use it to see what you can get. Because if you find something in inspection, most everybody else is. And if you're saying, oh, well, if I don't waive inspection, I probably won't get it. Some investor who's going to pay cash and waives, well, great, let them do it. You're probably not ready for it. It takes a long time to be ready for waiving and a lot of knowledge to understand what you're looking for, and then you're still going to miss something. So even when I think I've accomplishment, I didn't. There's always something. I just got hit with $28,000 masonry work at the last second in the flip I'm currently doing right now. These are things that come up. I had allotted about 10 to 15 grand for it. Turns out it's going to be 28 grand. So these things happen. It can get a little crazy. Don't waive inspections if you're a brand new investor. Please don't waive anything. Just you'll lose. If you're saying, well, the only way I could win is to lose, then just lose because you're not ready to be brand new and waive things and waive your rights. Number three, this one's really important. Thinking I knew everything. So I've done a bunch of flips. I've been investing for 30 years. Sometimes that makes me overconfident in what I know. I can tell you 100% that every single time I invest or play around with a new property, I learn something new. So how the hell could I ever think that I actually knew everything when every single time I touch a property, something else new comes up? So it's not the time to be cocky or real super overconfident in your abilities. houses have a life of their own. They have creaks and boards and things that go wrong, and they're hiding stuff under the ground. And sometimes the sellers don't even know all the stuff that's wrong with it. It's not always somebody's fault. But let's not play the game where we convince ourselves that we know more than we do. Every single house is going to teach us something new. Number 4, similar to bad partners, is bad providers. I fired a lot of people. Probably should have fired them all, but like I get mad. And picking a bad provider can really put you back. So you can't just go on Craigslist and get a contractor, or just hope for the best, or just take whatever they say. You need to do the work, get references, see who you know who knows someone. For me personally, I don't allow my contractors to use subcontractors. We use all of our own because I like to manage a job. I run generally as a GC, not in the GC actually licensed part, but I run the job, and my project manager, Jenny, she manages the job. Which means she tells me what's going on. I let her know what I want, and I take all of her advice, usually do what she says because she knows better. And then we make those decisions together. But in the end, picking bad providers can just hammer your job away. I mean, it can literally ruin it. I had a contractor, we just agreed on the deal, and then literally in the first week said, hey, by the way, I'm going on vacation, for 10 days, but my workers will be here. I said, well, first of all, none of your workers, I don't know if any of them are licensed contractors. You're not just leaving your workers here for 10 days. So they got fired. And then we had a big dispute about the money. But look, if you sense something's wrong with your provider, it probably is, unless you really don't know what you're doing. And I've just made bad choices. You choose a plumber because you really need a plumber, then you get overcharged, and then you're mad. But you have to vet all of your providers, make sure they're doing the best. And you have to constantly be doing that. You always need a backup at every single position. Just like you're in the NBA, make sure if your shooting guard's hurt, you just have another one to bring in who can fill the lane for you. Number 5 is pricing. Welcome to the real world, flippers. You can't overprice your flip. That's a disaster, because then you take all the work that you just did and you're going to make it sit there longer. I did make the biggest mistake of my life on a house that I loved more than any other house I've ever played with at all. The front part was already done, ended up building a pool and a 3-car garage and a back house. This is in Sarasota, Florida. I love this house so much that when I went to sell it, I, not being licensed at the time, told my agent, hey, I want to get 2.3 million for this. And I don't know, we just agreed that that was a price that I should get. Little to be known that I was crazy, and that wasn't even close to a correct value. Got an offer of 1.4 million like right away in the first week. And guess what stupid me did? Oh, that's disgusting. I don't want that offer. That's way too low. Great. Good job, Jonathan. Know what happened? 2008 hit. I ended up selling it for less than $1 million. So good job. I probably lost $1 million just on that deal by being stubborn and pricing too high and not listening to my real estate agent who knew better than me. And that's another time where I thought I knew better than everyone, and I didn't. And I paid for it. So those are it. Those are the top 5 things, or just the 5 biggest things that I've made errors on flipping. I hope these help you. There's plenty more. And if you're flipping and you've been doing it for a long time, you should have all these stories. This is what helps new investors know what not to do. And I hopefully this will help you. Again, you can find more info. You can actually find me a lot of the time on Bigger Pockets, which is a big investor site. I can put the link for it up top. It's actually going to be over there. It's a great site for investors. Hit the forums, learn about things. And that's where you'll find me in the forums all the time, sometimes telling these stories. Have a great day.